This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
And first at 5, heavy downpours are impacting parts of central Indiana. It's the first time in days some of us have had any rain.
And it's a Storm Team 6 alert day. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is here. So, Kevin, how long will this heavy rain last, and what else are you tracking tonight?
I think well past sunset in spots, but it's localized. But where it's raining, it is all out pouring. Let me just show you. Follow the lightning here in a second. 82, that's our temperature. Rain cooled 82 degrees with a south wind at 9. There is a thunderstorm warning. Southern Clay, portions of Owen and northern Greene. Clay, Greene, and Owen until 5:30. This thunderstorm capable of 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. See all of the lightning there? That's also an indicator where you'll find the torrential rainfall. Other thunderstorms stretching basically from Bloomington to Nashville to Columbus. We'll zoom in, look at all of the lightning between Terre Haute. Then you come down to northeast portions of Greene County, southwest of Spencer. That rainfall there, 1 to 2 inches is what I think you would get out of that storm. Other heavy rainfall, Nashville to Columbus to just west of Greensburg, maybe some 50-mile-per-hour gusts there. Want to point this out, right in the heart of Shelby County. Flash flood warning. You've had 2 inches of rainfall. Watch for creeks and streams and some localized flooding. Everything rising there as a result of the heavy rain.
And we'll see Kevin again in just a few minutes. Thank you, Kevin. Tonight, an Indiana mother is pushing for drug label changes after the death of her son. Purdue University student Shay McCarthy died at the age of 24. His mother believes a powerful antibiotic is to blame.
And Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny has been tracking concerns surrounding the drugs for 4 years now. She joins us to explain the new effort underway to protect you and your family.
Fluoroquinolones are popular antibiotics used to treat infections. They already have a black box warning for things like central nervous system effects. But one Indiana mom says this is not good enough. Heather McCarthy's son Shay was a student at Purdue University. He took the drug Levaquin to prevent an infection following a surgery. But Heather says even after Shay stopped taking the antibiotic, he suffered from depression and anxiety. In 2013, Shay jumped out a second-story window and crashed his car into a wall. Heather believes Shay was suffering side effects from taking Levaquin. She supports a citizen petition just filed with the FDA to add a black box warning to Levaquin for psychiatric adverse reactions, which includes suicide and suicide-related adverse effects. Heather says she will testify before the FDA if asked and talk about what happened to Shay.
He was a strong young man. He wanted to be better. So for me as a parent, I don't like to use that word because this could have been avoided. This didn't need to happen. He didn't need to go through this. And the suffering that he endured, this was a young man who wanted to live.
The Southern Network for Adverse Reactions is also asking for a fluoroquinolone-associated disability black box warning, which includes a cluster of disabling symptoms. Heather McCarthy suspects Shay was suffering from it. We reached out to the FDA, who says they are reviewing this petition. They say for serious bacterial infections, the benefits of fluoroquinolones outweigh the risks. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Thanks, Kara. And at this point, the citizen petition only includes Levaquin, but it also affects the generic version of the drug. Supporters hope the FDA will expand the black box warning to all fluoroquinolones. If you have concerns about something that could impact your health and you are not getting any help or answers, let us know. Just email us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
A major traffic alert tonight. INDOT says it's closing whole sections of I-65 and I-70 on the south side of Indianapolis beginning late next week. This affects all lanes of southbound I-65 from the south split to I-465 starting July 12th. The closure will last for 9 days and all lanes will reopen on July 22nd. INDOT will then close all lanes of I-70, both eastbound and westbound, from I-465 to the south split on July 26th. That will also last for 9 days and reopen on August 5th. The closures are in response to rain delays INDOT experienced in May and June. The good news tonight from Indigo Indigo is that its Red Line bus rapid transit route will be open for business in 2 months, but work and completion on the 2 routes planned after the Red Line have been delayed. The Purple Line will connect downtown Indianapolis with Lawrence. Work was scheduled to start on it by early 2020. It's now being pushed back to 2021. Blue Line construction is now set to begin in 2023, about 2 years behind schedule. The Blue Line will run along Washington Street from Indianapolis's east side to the airport.
Being able to shift the Purple and Blue Line timelines will allow us to both learn from the Red Line, having it open for a year, but really not have multiple construction projects going on at the same time, which helps with both the impact to commuters and the public, and also looking at available workload for contractors, and be able to open the projects as well.
As for the Red Line, it will run from the north side to the south side of Indianapolis with more than 30 dedicated passenger stations. Indigo says the route will open September 1st. The agency says the Red Line is the nation's first battery electric bus rapid transit system.
A struggle many Hoosiers face is keeping a bank account open. RTV6's Stephanie Wade is here with the dangers you need to know when taking your money to the bank and resources in our community that can help.
Living paycheck to paycheck is a reality for many Hoosiers, and without this stability, you're not able to keep your bank account open, often running that down to zero and racking up late fees.
Just getting credit cards and using them irresponsibly.
For someone who has a job and 2 degrees, Kyra Bowerman says her issues began with credit cards.
Getting one was very easy, and that was the problem. At 18, who is going to give 18-year-old with no income a credit card? And everybody does.
Without a steady income at the time, she didn't realize she was only hurting her credit score when she wasn't able to pay off her debt. She came here to the Community Alliance on the Far East Side to get some help with her finances. Kim Taylor is a financial coach and works with clients like Kyra to budget, set goals, and build credit.
There are more fees that are put onto the consumer, more so today than there have been in the past.
While there are more fees, which is the nasty cycle some fall into, Taylor says there are also more resources to support the customer if you know how to navigate the banking system. How to do that coming up at 6. Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Right now, we need you to get a good look at this car. Police say the man driving it is accused of exposing himself to 2 little girls in Kokomo, and now police want to catch him. This happened on July 1st on the 900 block of South Market Street. The 2 8-year-old victims were riding their bikes heading home from a convenience store where they bought drinks. They say a man in a blue car pulled up and asked for a drink. He then raised his hips from the driver's seat, exposing his genitals while performing a lewd sexual act. The man then asked the girls for their phone number. Those girls ran home. Anyone with information about the vehicle should contact the Kokomo Police Department. Today, a judge appointed a special prosecutor to investigate a police officer's fatal shooting of a black man in South Bend. Richard Hertel from Ripley County will serve as special prosecutor to oversee the investigation into Eric Logan's shooting death. South Bend Police Sergeant Ryan O'Neill shot and killed Logan on June 16th. That prompted South Bend Mayor and Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg to leave the campaign trail for several days to answer questions about public safety and race. Buttigieg said he wanted an independent investigator appointed to the case.
Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6. It's awful when you think you're paying one price for something, later to find out it costs much more. Working for you, where to watch out for hidden fees and how you can fight them.
But first, here at 5, an Amazon customer locked out of her account, makes a mistake that many of us would make. What happened to her and why it could cost you a lot of money. We'll show you how to protect yourself next at 5.
And a severe thunderstorm sits between Terre Haute and Spencer over Clay County, just south of Brazil. 60-mile-per-hour winds, torrential rainfall, constant lightning with this. We'll talk about other storms and your 4th of July forecast coming up.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 5. A K-9 officer with the Marion Police Department has died after an incident during what the department calls a somewhat routine training exercise. The Marion Police Department shared the news this morning. According to the department, K-9 Ashwan and the K-9 units were taking part in routine criminal apprehension and fence jumping exercises. This was happening June 27th at the Marion Police Athletic League on one of the baseball diamond's outfield fences. During the practice, K-9 Ashwan could not complete a jump at high speed and hit his head on the top rail of the fence, suffering a traumatic brain injury. Ashwan had been with the department for 5 years. And police are still searching for a 12-year-old retired Marion County Sheriff K-9 who has been missing for many days after being frightened by fireworks and escaping from her enclosure. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says Laika disappeared from Canby last week. The former narcotics K-9 is not a bite dog and is very friendly. If you have any info, call authorities at 317-327-3811.
Here on the day before Independence Day, nearly 100 men and women from around the world became citizens of the United States at a ceremony in Indianapolis. It happened at the Benjamin Harrison Presidential Site, where 98 people took the oath of allegiance and officially became U.S. citizens. Judge Sarah Evans Baker presided over the naturalization ceremony on the South Lawn. Benjamin Harrison's great-great-grandson, Kimball Harrison Mooresmans, also spoke. The 98 new citizens come from 31 countries, including Afghanistan, China, Nigeria, Mexico, Guatemala, Israel, Italy, and Vietnam.
President Trump's 4th of July event on the National Mall is just one day away, but tonight, questions regarding how much it will cost and whether it should be considered a political event. ABC's Trevor Ault is in Washington, D.C., looking for those answers.
President Trump has called it the show of a lifetime. His 4th of July salute to America set for Thursday. The president scheduled to speak at the Lincoln Memorial alongside marching bands, music, and military demonstrations.
We're going to have planes going overhead. We're going to have some tanks stationed outside.
Those 60-ton tanks brought in by rail from Fort Stewart, Georgia, moving into position today. But they're also drawing the ire of anti-war group Code Pink.
Tanks, but no tanks. We don't want tanks on the streets of D.C.
The Washington Post writes that the National Park Service is diverting nearly $2.5 million in entrance and recreation fees to cover the event. That's money initially intended to improve parks across the country. While the administration won't say how much this is all going to cost, the Park Service and Department of the Interior have acknowledged it will be more expensive than other years because of the extra security for the president. President Trump himself is defending the event's extravagance, saying the cost will be very little compared to what it's worth. We do know the president's allies will be front and center for his speech, as VIP tickets were only given to Republican organizations. But if public dollars are being used for a partisan political event, that might be illegal.
If this is a campaign event, the candidate and his campaign pay for it. If it's an official event, the taxpayers would pay for it. Federal law could not be more clear on that point.
So behind me are some of the military vehicles that will be used in tomorrow's demonstration. We also expected protesters were going to be flying a baby Trump balloon off in the distance. They went as far as to get a permit, but it likely won't be here tomorrow because they've been told they're not allowed to fill it with helium. Trevor Ault, ABC News at the Lincoln Memorial.
A man who was a pioneer in the auto industry has died. Lee Iacocca died on Tuesday at the age of 94. He was once the president of Ford Motor Company and was the brains and brawn behind the Ford Mustang. Iacocca helped design the Mustang, and he pushed it to become one of the most popular cars in American history. He also helped create the world's first minivan. Later, he was hired at Chrysler and helped keep that company from closing. Iacocca is survived by 2 daughters and 8 grandchildren. An Amazon customer locked out of her account did what many of us would do. She Googled a number for customer service.
But working for you, we show you some of those online numbers are fake and how it could cost you big money. Paula says she called the number that came up as Amazon customer service on a Google search. When she explained she forgot her password and was locked out of an account, the person on the other end offered to help.
Yeah, but the rep didn't work for Amazon at all and conned her into purchasing multiple Amazon gift cards.
Nothing is getting charged to your account. This is all for account verification on our side. And they got me back into the page to reset my password at the end of it.
Paula showed our Scripps team emails confirming her purchase of the gift cards. She thinks the fraudster hacked her account to access the gift cards.
Our Scripps team reached out to Amazon and got this statement. The company says, quote, "We monitor for suspicious activity, including gift card activity, and work with law enforcement and consumer protection agencies and take action on bad actors." A member over our team has reached out to the customer to get additional information.
To avoid falling for one of these scams, don't use web searches to find customer service numbers. Make sure you only use contact information found on a company's official website.
Fire destroyed a huge Jim Beam warehouse filled with 45,000 barrels of bourbon. The fire generated so much heat that fire truck lights melted. The blaze erupted late Tuesday night at the Jim Beam warehouse near Frankfort, Kentucky. Investigators have not figured out what caused this fire, but luckily no one was hurt. Some of the bourbon has run off into the Kentucky River, which could cause fish kills. Jim Beam says the fire and lost bourbon will not impact the availability of Jim Beam in stores. Former Purdue quarterback David Blau is adjusting to life in the NFL after signing with the Cleveland Browns.
He had a good college football career as a Boilermaker, even leading the team to a bowl game last year and also helping to engineer an upset over Ohio State. Now, as a rookie in the NFL, Blau will be the next Madden NFL video game, but his rating in the game has been released, and it's a little lower than he would have liked. He is rated a 48 out of 100.
So he is making light of the offensive rating. This is what he tweeted, quote, "Seeing as 48 overall may be the lowest quarterback rating ever, I've got $250 for the first person who can win league MVP and the Super Bowl on all Madden mode with me, David Blau, as the QB. Good luck."
So Madden NFL 20 responded to Blau on Twitter saying, "Even Tom Brady started in the 50s. That just goes to show you can't sleep on Blau. He could do some great things in the NFL.
We'll be watching.
Boiler up, as they say, right? Boiler up. We boiled up some thunderstorms today, just like the last several days. So we're in this pattern, and man, when it rains, it pours. You'll see these thunderstorms develop and then just sit there. Let me show you the intimidating view from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway toward downtown, just east of Monument Circle in the heart of Marion County, inside 465. Torrential rainfall. A flood advisory was just issued there as a result. I want to show you, there's a thunderstorm warning, sits in southern Clay, southwest Owen, and northern Green. That until 5:30. Next 10-15 minutes, you can see the cluster of lightning with that. No surprise with this, 60-mile-per-hour winds potentially. Here's the draping of the showers and thunderstorms along and mainly south of Interstate 70. Closer view here, easily you could have between 1 and 2 inches of rain before this stops. Notice what it does. It doesn't really move. It just kind of coalesces right in the southern portion of Clay County and northern Green, just west of 231. Watch for street flooding. Never try to drive across a flooded roadway. With that torrential downpour, you may get downburst winds that could reach 60 miles per hour. Off to the east we go. This has weakened a lot as it came out of Shelbyville and put down a couple of inches of rainfall. Bloomington with downpours, Columbus over to Greensburg, and then this was hiding from us, but we found it, didn't we? With a lightning and heavy rainfall between Indianapolis and Beech Grove. If you're coming out of the downtown area along I-65, that will definitely slow you down. Temperatures have been impacted by the rain. 72 right now in Columbus. Bloomington about ready to cool down big time because of the rain. You're at 86. Terre Haute, a rain-cooled 75, and Indianapolis at 82 degrees right now. Check this out. Look where Chester is. He's waiting his chance. As soon as the yard dries out, he's ready to mow. He's got zero-turn talent. Isn't that funny?
And his paw on the
emergency brake.
Right.
Yeah, he's ready to let the brakes go and head out. But at some point, we've got these isolated thunderstorms, especially south of Interstate 70. Nice to meet you, Chester. This evening, between 7 and 11, we'll continue the thunderstorms most numerous south of Interstate 70. They'll fade away overnight, and then we just start the process over again. Temperatures tomorrow, 4th of July, upper 80s. By the way, we broke our string of 90-degree days today. We'd had 4 in a row. We've also had a stretch of 8 days without rain in Indianapolis. That was also broken. As far as the shower and thunderstorm activity tomorrow, 40% chance they'll pop up during the heat of the day. You may have an outdoor activity interrupted. I don't think you'll have it canceled. Then tomorrow night, fireworks time around 10 p.m. Chance for thunderstorms less than 40%. I think for most of us it will work out. We dry out, cool off, and lower the humidity a little bit early next week. But until then, warm, sticky with afternoon storms.
So you can get out and see the fireworks.
That's the game.
The plan's going.
And Kevin, while you're doing weather, we were looking at our cameras outside, and take a look at this from our tower camera looking out on the southeast side. Massive cloud.
That's the rain that we were just showing you.
It's the rain.
There's a flood advisory for that. And again, the quick street flooding, if you're familiar with those underpasses, for example, that fill with water, that's what will happen.
All right. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Well, a good deed or a case of revenge that resulted in grand theft. The shocking accusations against one woman and why an innocent waitress may have to give up $5,000.
6 p.m. America Runs on Duncan.
An unbelievable, life-changing deed may instead be a case of grand theft. The alleged motive? Revenge.
Yeah, a woman's generous gesture may have been really an opportunity to get back at her boyfriend. Investigators in Clearwater Beach, Florida say 24-year-old Serena Wolf used her boyfriend's credit card to leave a revenge tip. Police say Wolf used the credit card to leave a waitress a $5,000 tip on a $55 bill.
Wolf's boyfriend reported the charge as fraud, telling investigators Wolf was drunk or trying to get back at him for not buying her plane ticket back to New York. The problem tonight, the restaurant already paid out the waitress, so she has the $5,000.
Our Scripps team asked if the $5,000 is hers to keep. Well, management didn't give an answer. Customers are split on this.
Did she get the tip?
I mean, yeah, it's not her fault. I feel kind of bad.
Yes, they should allow her to keep it.
I don't think she should keep the tip, even though it was heartfelt. I mean, it's just not honest where it came from.
Well, Wolf denied making the purchase, but she's charged with grand theft.
Wow, that's some drama there, right?
Yeah.
Coming up all new at 6 here on RTV6. One man calls it an accident waiting to happen. Overgrown brush and shrubs blocking the view of drivers. Now he's turning to RTV6 after he says calls to the city went unanswered.
But first on the Now Indy, tomorrow is the 4th of July, but that means potential danger if you're near anyone shooting off fireworks. The safety measures you need to take. You're watching RTV6. We'll be right back.